What inspired me to create this film was my connection to this place and this community living on the border of El Paso, Texas and Ciudad Juarez, and observing the shifts and changes that happen to the Rio Grande throughout the year. I have this feeling of sadness whenever that river dries up, and also a feeling of sadness around how that river has been used as a political weapon towards people who are exercising their human right to migrate. I think the most important part of the writing process is to know what you're saying and why for myself. So a lot of the films that I've made, I feel either a connection to the people who are involved or the themes that are a part of my films. And so I really draw upon listening to people's stories and taking my time to just sit and meditate on what I want to say, how am I going to use this platform to perhaps change people's minds for the better or influence people to be more compassionate or understanding. Or as far as my writing, I drew a lot of inspiration from sitting next to the river in front of this tree that I visit all the time and posing questions that I have personally around, important issues and themes that I like to highlight in my work. And I sit there and just allow these ideas and these thoughts to circulate and start to put them down on paper without thinking twice about it. And then it goes through a series of refinement, or I might send it to someone that I respect or that I think has a better idea of what kind of stories I want to tell, and get a second or third opinion, and then come back to the drawing board and tighten up whatever it is I'm trying to say. I've learned, and I was reminded of how much talent there is here, and working with you all, working with people from PBS El Paso, working with editors from El Paso, and the director of photography who's originally from El Paso. I feel like that talent that we have here needs to be cultivated, and we need to, how important it is to elevate each other so that people feel empowered and not afraid to tell more stories, because that needs to happen on the border. We need to put a face to our stories and, like I say, humanize the border. And I also learned that even if I'm trying to share a certain viewpoint, it's okay that it might not reach everybody, and not everybody might like the film that I'm making, but one person could possibly have a change of heart, and that's enough. One person having a change of heart is enough. My hope is for our community on the border to honor our heritage and honor our connection to the land, to remember that the Rio Grande sits on a migratory path that spans back to 20,000 years. And when we view migration in that way, it's harder to put these boundaries on the right for people to move in order to seek a better life. And I hope that audience members and people who view this start to reimagine another type of relationship to the Rio Grande. Rivers are supposed to be places where life thrives. It's supposed to be places where we should be able to enjoy a flowing, healthy river that feeds the plants and animals and that attracts community, instead of it being a place where people die. It was incredible working with PBS El Paso. The fact that you all are from the border, I feel like having you all a part of it was just extremely complimentary and extremely helpful. It was incredible having women, talented, creative women on the team that were willing to, go to the border and film the National Guard and cross the bridge and just really help me capture the vision that I had. I'm just incredibly grateful to them, and I know that this film wouldn't have it wouldn't be what it is without your help. Yeah, I think first and foremost, having a connection to the story. So the fact that, you know, I'm from a lineage of people who had to cross the river in one way or another to seek a better life. And also, I think in this particular film, you know, I made sure that when we documented the small group of migrants in downtown El Paso, that they gave permission to share their faces and to share themselves on camera. And I also feel like I can't tell their story for them. I think that there's a responsibility to combat the harmful rhetoric that's been spewed about the border. And like I made sure to make this particular film as close to my own experience and my own perspective, my own personal history as I could. And since it's a documentary, I also made sure that everything that's said in that film were facts. So PBS has a program called Real South, and they were accepting applications for funding. And the protocol was that it had to be a short film and it had to be about an environmental issue. And so I applied for that grant and was approved. And I already had, you know, an idea. I wanted to do it on the Rio Grande. And I ended up receiving that support. And along with that support came mentorship from Real South, and you know, they helped with getting my film into film festivals and mentoring me around the curation of the film, or mentoring me around the storyline, making sure that I'm on track with where we were headed. And it was a really awesome opportunity.